Welcome to Season 3 of The Breakdown, the official podcast of the Breakaway Roping Journal and calfroping.com. This season, we're diving into both the breakaway and calf roping like never before, bringing you the personalities, successes, and horses that make these events great.
You can expect training tips from the top ropers, stories from the road, and industry news that goes beyond the numbers.
I'm Taylor Vollen, your calf roping host.
And I'm Lillian Kent, your breakaway host.
And this is The Breakdown. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tie Down Breakdown. It's your host, Taylor Vollen. We are, of course, pretty much in the fourth quarter of the 2024 Pro Rodeo season right now, and I feel like there are so many storylines unfolding in front of us. We watch the top 15 race really closely, of course, but we also pay close attention to the Resistol Rookie of the Year race. This year, we've got two guys in the Rookie of the Year race that are also in contention for their first NFR qualifications. And on today's episode of the Tie Down Breakdown, I bring you guys Cole Clemons. Cole not only leads the Rookie of the Year race, but he's also 12th in the world standings right now with $83,110.96 won on the year. The 20-year-old, originally from Florida but now living in Texas, joins this episode of The Breakdown, which is brought to you by USROPER, to talk about how he got into roping calves, his rookie year, how he's inside the top 15 in his rookie year, and so much more. So, you're originally from Florida, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Okeechobee, Florida.
What did growing up roping calves in Florida look like for you?
It was, honestly, if it wasn't for Jason Hanchy, which was Shane Hanchy's brother, I probably wouldn't have got into it as much as I did, but there was not a lot of calf roping in Florida at all, really, other than Jason lived right there in Okeechobee, and other than that, there's hardly anybody roped calves in Florida that I knew, so it was pretty much just me and my little brother was always the only people I knew that roped calves, really, and we kind of lived in the middle of nowhere and just had an arena and a bunch of calves, and Jason kind of got us started, and then it was pretty much, I guess you could say self-taught, but I watched a lot of videos and went to a few clinics, but that was really about it. There's not a lot of people to rope with like there is in Texas where I live now, so things are different.
Yeah. So you were pretty little when Jason started coming around?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I was real young, and when I went and roped with Jason, he kind of just got me started and taught me how to swing a rope and just the basics and stuff, and I kind of just figured it out after that.
Gotcha. Do you remember when you kind of were like, okay, I want to rope calves, and I want to do this for a living?
I would say when I first got into probably my freshman year of high school, I struggled my freshman year of high school because I was so small, which I'm still not very big, but my freshman year of high school, I was really small, and I struggled a lot that year, and I guess just got tired of losing, and I said, I'm going to figure this out. And I started going to Texas my freshman year and started going to the junior opens and stuff, and started having a little luck towards the end of my freshman year, my sophomore year, and that's kind of when I decided, I'm going to do whatever it takes to figure this out, which I'm not saying I've got it close to figured out, but probably I would say my sophomore year is when it really started, I felt like things started to click. I started to win a little bit in Texas, which I felt like I always won a little, in Florida, just because there's not a lot of people who rope calves in Florida, and I would go to Texas and get my ass kicked. And that's when I started winning a little bit in Texas, that's when I kind of got the taste for it and decided, I want to do this. And after my sophomore year, I went to the high school finals, and I didn't do any good, but that's kind of when I decided, hey, I'm gonna go home and work at this every day and figure it out.
I might be getting too into the nitty-gritty, so I apologize, but what were kind of the things that you went home and worked on? I know you said your size, there were things that you had to do, I'm assuming, differently.
Yes, ma'am. So, I don't feel like I grew a lot until, I'm going to say, my junior and senior year. My junior year, I was small. I'm still small. I'm only 5'8". I weigh $150 now, and my junior year, I was smaller than that, but no, I got home, and I knew if I wanted to be any good at it at the next level, that I was going to have to figure out how to flank. big calves being my size and have to figure out how to flank fast. So I honestly, I would say where I learned it is just I've watched a lot of videos and I broke down a lot of videos, and I would say I did a lot of trial and error. Like I would go watch. I would sit in that practice pen at midnight and I would watch a lot of videos of Shane Hanchy and Shane Slack and some of those like just smaller guys and Trevor Brazil and how they flank so good being that small. And I would literally have a calf tied off to the post and I would try it. And eventually I just started clicking. And I mean, I wasn't going to take no for an answer. So I just kind of figured it out over the years, I guess.
I like that, yeah. And I feel like a lot of kids in high school maybe wouldn't think to look at people that are built like them. You know what I mean? Like they just look at the guys that are the best, not really taking into consideration the stuff that it sounds like you did.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and that was me. Like I couldn't watch like the Tough Cooper, the Clint Cooper, like the big guys. Like I couldn't watch the way they flanked because it was different than what I was going to have to do. The Cody Oles, like they were just bigger and stronger than me, and I just felt like I had to watch the smaller guys like Hanchy and stuff to figure out what worked for me, because I mean different stuff works different for everybody, and I had to watch the smaller guys and figure out how they made it work. And
when did you win the high school finals, junior or senior year?
I won the high school finals my junior year. I won second my senior year.
Gotcha. So do you feel like going to like the youth opens and the high school finals and that stuff prepared you in any way for pro rodeo, or just still pretty different?
I mean, everything prepares. I mean, any
right.
I feel like anywhere you go and rope for money is preparing you for the next step. But like the high school finals and all that, like the national high school finals coming back in the short round stuff, that was just like, I feel like that's more preparing on like the mental side of it, because being a junior in high school and coming back high call is just, I mean, it was so much on your head, you know, like all the noise made up around that short round and stuff, and just built up. Like they built it up like the 10th round at the NFR there. That's what it felt like to me at that point. So like it dang sure like going to the high school finals and those big junior opens and stuff helped that much. But I feel like what prepared me to like start pro rodeo would be like the amateur rodeos helped me get to like where I felt like I was ready to go rodeo more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So rookie year, what was the original goal? Was it to make the finals? And the rookie title would come along with it, or was it to win the rookie? What was kind of the plan coming into this year?
Yes, ma'am. So I guess I'll start last year. I was tempted to buy my card last year,
really?
But I decided just to stay on my. I just moved to Texas and I just started living by myself, and I was only 18 years old, and I just didn't know what was going on. I didn't feel like I had my horses situated and didn't have everything situated, so I stayed on my permit for a year. And I went and rodeoed out west for about 2 weeks on my permit and kind of went to some rodeos and got stuff figured out, and then I won a lot on my permit, and I won the Texas circuit, and then I kind of decided, you know, I'm gonna try it on. But definitely a lot of people told me that the goal needed to be to win the rookie, but I haven't really paid a lot of attention to that, to be honest with you. And I know I'm not saying the rookie's not a big deal, which I'd been honored to win it, but that's not the goal. No, man. The goal is, the ultimate goal is a gold buckle, but I told myself I wanted to make the finals this year, and figured if I make the finals, the rookie would take care of itself. So that's still the goal, to make the finals.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, were you still in college too this year when you started out, or?
Yes, ma'am. I finished my college career, I guess, in May.
Gotcha.
Like I went to California this year, and I was flying back to go to college rodeos and stuff, which I sucked at the college rodeo. I was terrible.
Gotcha. Okay. At what point in the year do you feel like you realized, okay, I've got a chance at making the finals? Like this really could come true.
To be honest with you, like I don't know if it honestly still hasn't sunk in, but like I would say after Reno, I kind of got close. I was 16th or 17th, and I just still felt like, you know, I didn't want to say that I got lucky to win what I had, because I felt like I've struggled a lot all year with a lot of things. But after I won Nampa, and I had a really big week that week at like all the right after the 4th of July. I struggled a little bit the 4th of July, and then that big week after with all those big rodeos, Salinas and Spanish and Ogden and Salt Lake, Nampa, Cheyenne. I had a really good week. I won over 20,000 that week, and I got up to, I got up to 12th. And I've been just kind of hanging out at 12th for the last couple of weeks. And I think right after then it was like, okay, that's the third quarter right there. We're about to go to the Northwest and finish it out, and I'm 12th. So that's kind of when it really sunk in that, hey, I've got a pretty good chance if I can stay hooked.
Yeah. Which between you and me, like, I almost feel bad even bringing up standings because I'm like, I would just don't want to jinx anything. But
no, yes, man. I've had a lot of people tell me to not look at the standings and stuff, which I do on occasions. Some people say it bothers them. Like, I don't feel like it should bother you. And if it does, I don't really mind it, so it's not a huge deal.
Gotcha. Okay, you said you kind of struggled this year. Can I ask where you feel like you were having some issues or where you felt like you were struggling?
I'm going to say I struggled I think where it started for me is my first. So, like, we only get to official 80 rodeos.
Yes.
We can go to as many pro rodeos as we want to, but we get to official 80 that count towards our standings.
Mm-hmm.
And my first couple of official rodeos were the Texas Circuit Finals and the Waco Shootout, and then we went to Lubbock and went to a lot of rodeos. And I had 4 no times at the Circuit Finals, and like I come in with a big lead in the standings, so like I had the Circuit Finals won, but I wanted to get a good start, and I just a lot of no times. I missed a lot of calves at the beginning of the year, and I didn't win it. I didn't win. I had $6,000 when I got to Angelo, which was right before California. Mm-hmm. And up until that point, I just felt like I was breaking a lot of barriers and missing a lot of calves. wasn't getting starts, getting goes at them, and I felt like it was nothing that, it wasn't like just stuff was going wrong. It was all self-inflicted, and I think after Angelo, I won second at San Angelo, and it kind of gave me a confidence booster to know that I can hang with them because, everybody, all the top 50 guys in the world are entered to Angelo, and that 1 second, that was kind of a confidence booster to say, hey, you can hang with them.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that is a very common thing for rookies. Their first year is learning the mental side of it and realizing that they can hang with the top guys. So,
no, for sure. And I think, honestly, I would say, like, where the mental side of it changed for me is when I left for the summer, because, like, I felt like I struggled a lot in my head until I left for the summer, and I got in the truck with my best friend Dylan and Riley, and mm-hmm. Dylan's there's all three of us have so much confidence, and me and Dylan, we talk about it all the time. Like, we probably have too much confidence sometimes. We tell ourselves we're probably a lot better than we are, but we truly believe it, and I feel like that's kind of what changed for me. Like, no matter what, if I show up and I miss 5 calves in a row, he's going to make sure he tells me that when we show up to the next one, we're the best 2 calf ropers in the world, and that just helps a lot.
Well, and okay, not that my opinion matters, but I feel like you do, like you said, you have to tell yourself that when you're entered up the way that you guys are and you're going, you can't be doubting yourself. Like, I feel like that makes a lot of sense.
No, yes, ma'am, for sure.
This episode is brought to you by USROPER. You're on your way to that big rope in when your rig breaks down on a bad curve. It's a long holiday weekend, it's pouring rain, and it's getting dark. Worst of all, you have horses in tow, and they're no happier about this than you are. Here's where USROPER comes in handy. This nationwide roadside assistance program has been developed specifically for the competitive roper on the road. If you're a member, 24/7 nationwide roadside assistance for vehicles and or horse trailers is just a phone call away. Learn more at usroper.com. Okay, you bring up the truck. I have to ask, tell me what this rig looks like. So it's the 3 of you, or is there someone else in there too?
It's kind of been split up for the most part, but me and Dylan kind of have our rig out here, and then Riley's had his rig out here, and we'll jump in together whenever we're, trying to save some diesel and stuff. But for the most part, it's kind of like right now it's just me and Dylan, and I would say majority of the summer it's been just me and Dylan, and Riley will jump in whenever we're going to, go to the same places for a week or 2 and save some diesel. We'll all 3 get in, but it's dang sure a roller coaster with the 3 of us in the same rig. Mm-hmm. Not that it's not with me and Dylan. We're both kind of a wreck. also.
I feel like that is probably quite the truck from the sounds of it. Probably got quite the stories.
It's pretty interesting because none of the three of us really party a lot, and we kind of do our own thing. It's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. How do you okay, well, you kind of already answered this, but how do you feel like you guys feed off of each other? Or do you feel like there's things that you've learned from them and maybe vice versa?
Oh, yeah. It's just, I mean, I think that what helps us the most is we want nothing more than that. If we don't win, there's nothing more we'd rather see than the other person win. And the confidence that gives us and the confidence that we give each other, just, staying in each other's ear, like, hey, we're about to go on our heater and we're about to win, and just nothing but, there's no, nobody's in a, just, talking down or anything. There's nothing but positive attitudes around, and I feel like that makes a world of a difference.
Yeah, not letting anybody get down. That's true. What do you feel like has been the highlight of your season so far?
Probably Nampa. I won almost 10,000 in Nampa, and that was the first rodeo I've won all year, really, and it was a pretty big one, and
Nicole, how are you?
that would definitely have to be the highlight.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fair. When you said that earlier, I kind of figured that would be the one you said, but...
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I won second at Reno. I won more at Reno than I did Nampa, just winning first somewhere, but, winning first by yourself and, walking out in the arena and they give a plaque, and just, not to be cliche, but just the confidence that gives you it helps a lot.
Right. So what do you feel like, and you might have already answered this, but what do you feel like has surprised you the most about pro rodeo in your first year?
Surprised me the most, I would honestly say when I left, how would I put this? surprised me the most. I honestly thought that, I didn't think that there was this much go. I thought there was going to be a lot more downtime out here than there really is.
Gotcha.
I feel like since June 1st, we haven't stopped one time. I feel like it's nonstop going. We're just now kind of getting to the Northwest where they tell me it's going to slow down, this is my first year, but they tell me that it's going to slow down and, not have to go somewhere every day. But I feel like since we've left, it's just been nonstop. And, I'm kind of a home-buddy. I've never been really away from home, and I love to be home.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been hard for me because I love home. I love my family, and I love being home. So it's been hard, but having my best friends with me has been dang sure. I don't think I could have done it if I wouldn't have been with them.
Yeah. What is the plan for, the last 6 weeks I think we're down to of the season?
Yes, ma'am. I think there's 5 or 6 weeks left. Yes, ma'am.
What's it going to look like? What's the game plan?
So the last 2 weeks I've been on the struggle bus a lot. I've run some bad calves and not done good, and I've run some good calves and not done good. Not doing what I know I can do that I've done all summer. And sorry, but
you're good.
No, I think I've been in my head a little bit, just trying to push. Looking into standings and seeing that I'm almost there, and just trying to push too much. But I got a lot of good rodeos left, so I'm going to kind of slow stuff back down and really just not try to win first every time. I feel like I catch myself lately trying to win first every time instead of doing the best I can on each gaff, and that's kind of my game plan for the rest of the year. Do the best that I can on each gaff and not try to force anything, just win what I can and let it play out how it plays out.
Right. Where do you guys go next?
We go to Gooding, Idaho on Thursday, Moses Lake, Washington on Thursday night.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And then we'll kind of I think we go to Canby on Saturday, and then after that we come back and Dylan goes to Caldwell Friday night, and then we, I think after that we start going, I think we're in Washington and Oregon for a while. We go to Kennewick and Walla Walla and Ellensburg, all that stuff.
Gotcha.